Coming up on MCTV this week, see how a Monmouth Police Officer trained the college community in how to react to an intruder on campus, and discover how some at Monmouth College are trying to discuss diversity. This week starts now. Hello and welcome to MCTV this week. For Lily Guillen, I'm Curtis Galloway. What would you do if an active shooter was on campus? As part of an effort to educate the MC community on how to respond to having an active shooter or potential threat on campus, Campus Safety and Security provided a training session for students, staff, and faculty on Monday. An officer from the Monmouth Police Department presented Alice Active Shooter Training Session. This session has also been done in the Monmouth Roseville High School and Elementary School.
Just don't be victims. Students, take measures into your own hands. You can fight back. You don't have to be a victim. In the world today, we're seeing violent people get away with stuff, and they shouldn't be getting away with it. Everybody can fight back, okay? Don't be a victim. Use these things. Use Alice, and take action, and don't be a victim.
For those who missed the training session, there are posters up on campus, and there will also be another session on January 26th.
Conversations about issues with diversity are starting to be addressed more within the student body in order to bring the campus together.
With all the media coverage about racial tension among college students nationwide the past couple of weeks, students at Monmouth have also begun to have the long overdue talks about race amongst themselves.
We do have a lot of events on campus that are created oftentimes by modern foreign language or intercultural life, and of how where we address these issues. But one of the problems that we have is that oftentimes it's the same people going to these events. So maybe it's by getting our own friends to go and then getting their friends to go. And so it's just we need to find a way to unite this campus as a whole, or else if it's the same people going to these events, how are we really raising awareness if these are the only people who aren't really learning about these things?
I think it starts with education. At the end of the day, a lot of the problems that people have are because they're ignorant or they haven't taken the time to educate themselves. When you have people saying, racist things or believing stereotypes or, assuming that everybody does this thing, it's a lot of times because they just haven't taken the time to read, to engage with other people, to ask questions, to see that there is more out there in the world than what their own perspective shows them. Education is pretty much the best thing I can advise people to do.
And one of the problems for people who want to get together and talk about these issues is that they feel that there aren't enough safe spaces to address them.
I think that on campus we don't have as many safe spaces as we should. I like to think that they have safe spaces with peers. I'd like to think that, but I know that a lot of times in classrooms and around generally the student body, people feel uncomfortable talking about anything. And because of this, I really think that we should be working to make safer spaces on campus and actually designated spaces to talk. And I think that more people are feeling comfortable to start these conversations. I think this is a good thing, and that I think that we can only go up from here.
For MCTV, I'm Lily Guillen.
Students are hoping to hold more open forums to discuss any racial issues and are hoping to create more safe spaces to have these conversations.
On Monday, the campus had an opportunity to help those in need by donating blood. According to the Red Cross, every 2 seconds in the U.S., someone needs blood. Although an estimated 38% of the U.S. population is eligible to donate, less than 10% actually do each year. Earlier this week, the college community came out to do their part.
It's important because it makes you feel a part of something bigger than just donating blood. And overall, it's a good experience because it's not frightening as people make it seem. You just go in and they take your blood and then you just go out. It's really just simple.
The blood drive was sponsored by Scott's Wellness.
Phi Delta Theta hosted their annual ALS fundraiser banquet last Friday. The banquet was held at Monmouth Country Club to raise money for the ALS Association. The event featured performances by Iman Abdul Razak, Christian Corbett, Anthony Howe, Monmouth College Improv, and Professor Richard Johnston.
Well, just as any disease, raising money for anything is important. It's awful. It hurts people, and it needs to be stopped. The closer we come to finding a cure, the better lives will be.
They raised around $1,300 with all proceeds going towards the ALS Association.
Taking a look at some events on campus this week, MC Department of Theater and the Buchanan Center for the Arts present the holiday classic, The Nutcracker, this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 7:30 in Wells Theater. Tickets are $7 for adults, $6 for seniors and students, and for $5 for students and faculty with a Monmouth College ID. On Thursday at 7:35, Emoja is hosting their annual Kwanzaa ceremony in Doll Chapel. And on Saturday at 2 in Scotland Yard, the jazz band is hosting their fall performance sponsored by the music department.
Up next on sports, Fighting Scots basketball tipped off their season earlier this week. Fighting Scots football had a cheerful sending off last Friday afternoon. Students and staff gathered outside the north end of the Huff Athletic Center last Friday morning to wish the Scots luck on their voyage to De Pere, Wisconsin. The Fighting Scots football team finished the regular season with an 8-1 record, went undefeated in conference play, and won the South Division crown by 4 games. Coach Braun and the Scots had to face the St. Norbert Green Knights this past Saturday for the Midwest Conference Football Championship, with the winner receiving an automatic NCAA berth. In head coach Chad Braun's first year, the Scots finished runner-up in the Midwest Conference as they fell to St. Norbert this past Saturday by a final of 16-7, and they did not receive an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. Chad Braun also received the Midwest Conference Coach of the Year award for his excellence in coaching this year. The women's basketball team opened their season this past Sunday against Millikan University. The game was tightly contested in the first half as Maddie Dolman scored for the Scots on this layup. Millikan was able to get the shots they wanted all night, like this hook shot by Alyssa Sacklack. In the second half of the game, it really started to open things up as the up-and-down play of Millikan seemed to tire the Scots out. The Big Blue took advantage of easy fast break layups, as they can be seen here by Casey Summers and Emily Schultz. Millikan went on to beat the Scots by a final of 76-63.
It was a really good first game. We have a lot to work on, but I think that just like playing better defense overall, getting those offensive rebounds and all that kind of stuff, we can learn a lot from this game.
The Scots will travel to Hope College for their next game this Friday. The Fighting Scots men's basketball team hosted their season opener against Eureka College. The battle against the Eureka Red Devils was a tight one for most of the evening. Eureka managed to score the first 10 points of the first half before the Scots fought back with amped-up offense and rebounding skills. Sophomore Will Jones hits this three-pointer late in the first half to follow up John Calhoun's back-to-back jumpers in the paint to give the Scots a 51-32 lead at the half. The Scots came out swinging in the second half, getting many of their players involved. They would hold that lead through the second, winning their first game 101-7.
Love the support and the students getting out. You guys are a big factor in outcome of games, and hopefully we'll see a lot of faces in the crowd throughout the season.
This Friday for tournament play, opening with the University of Wisconsin Stout. That's it for sports. Here are the rest of the scores from this week. For MCTV this week, I'm Tyler Berneisen.
And I'm Lily Guillen. Be sure to join us on December 2nd for another installment of MCTV This Week.
And I'm Curtis Galloway. You can also watch us on the web by going to monmouthcollege.edu/MCTV. See you next week.